I look to my right, and out of nowhere, Jesus is standing there. The physical person, and everything else just kind of disappeared.
Imagine being on the brink of death, feeling the cold grip of uncertainty as doctors prepare to save your life. Just as everything seems lost, you experience something extraordinary. A moment so profound that it changes your perspective on life, death, and the spiritual realm forever. This is the remarkable story of Mike McKenzie, an ordinary man whose brush with the divine turned his life upside down. What he witnessed in the operating room left him speechless and inspired countless others to believe in miracles. Mike McKenzie's story begins like any other. He was born and raised in Lodi, California, a town he jokingly referred to as the infidel capital of the world. Faith wasn't a significant part of his life growing up, and as a young man, he focused on building a career and providing for his family. After marrying the love of his life, Mike moved to Southern California, where he thrived as a top salesman for a tile company. Life was good. He had a loving family, a successful career, and every reason to be content. But life has a way of throwing unexpected challenges our way. The summer of his son Ben's wedding was supposed to be a joyous occasion, a celebration of love and new beginnings. Mike and his family arrived in Santa Barbara a few days early to turn the wedding into a mini vacation. They spent sunny afternoons playing baseball at the park and enjoying quality family time. Everything seemed perfect until Mike began feeling unwell. What started as mild discomfort quickly escalated into something far more serious. By Thursday, Mike was battling intense stomach pain, a high fever, and a general sense of fatigue. He brushed it off, convincing himself it was just a flu. But by Friday, his symptoms had worsened. He struggled to stay awake, and his body was drenched in sweat. Despite his deteriorating condition, Mike pushed through the rehearsal dinner, determined not to let anything ruin his son's big day. On Saturday, the day of the wedding, Mike was barely holding on. His skin was pale, his energy drained, and his fever relentless. Somehow, he managed to make it through the ceremony, smiling and joking with guests. But as soon as the vows were exchanged and the celebrations began, Mike's body gave out. He knew something was terribly wrong. Rushed to the hospital, Mike's condition rapidly deteriorated. At the ER, his temperature was a shocking 104.3 degrees. The nurse examined him, pressing on his abdomen to identify the source of his pain. When she tapped the bottom of his foot with a mallet, Mike felt an excruciating pain shoot through his abdomen, a telltale sign that his appendix had ruptured. The surgeon confirmed the diagnosis. Mike's appendix had likely burst days earlier during that family baseball game. The situation was dire. His body was fighting a severe infection, and immediate surgery was his only chance of survival. As he was prepped for the procedure, Mike tried to stay strong for his wife, but the fear was undeniable. Would he survive? Would this be the last time he saw his family? As Mike was wheeled into the cold, sterile operating room, he felt an overwhelming sense of vulnerability. The bright lights, the beeping monitors, and the surgical instruments all served as stark reminders of his fragile state. Lying on the ICU narrow table, he closed his eyes and tried to calm his racing thoughts. That's when it happened. Out of nowhere, a figure appeared beside him. It wasn't a nurse, a doctor, or anyone he recognized. It was Jesus Christ. Mike was stunned. This wasn't a dream or a hallucination. The presence was real, tangible, and filled the room with an indescribable peace. Jesus stood beside him, radiating love and compassion. His appearance was unlike the depictions Mike had seen in church. He had darker skin, wavy brown hair, and piercing greenish-blue eyes that seemed to look straight into Mike's soul. "I want to answer your prayer," Jesus said, extending his hand. Mike was confused. What prayer? Then, a childhood memory surfaced. As a boy, Mike had prayed for Jesus to show him heaven. Could this be the moment he had unknowingly waited for all his life? With trembling hands, Mike reached out and grasped Jesus' hand. In an instant, the cold operating room disappeared. He found himself standing on a hill bathed in the brightest white light he had ever seen. The light was so pure and radiant that it felt alive, enveloping him in warmth and love. Beneath his bare feet was soft, manicured grass, every blade shimmering with a bluish-green brilliance. The scene before him was breathtaking. Flowers of every color swayed gently, though there was no wind. Their vibrant hues seemed to pulse with life, unlike anything on Earth. In the distance, Mike saw a magnificent city with golden domes and towering spires. The city exuded a sense of peace and majesty, its beauty beyond words. As Mike stood in awe, beams of light darted past him like glowing threads in a tapestry. One of the beams touched his forehead, sending a wave of warmth and serenity through his entire being. It was as if every worry, fear, and pain he had ever felt was erased in that moment. Jesus stood beside him, smiling. "It's the glory of the Lord," he said. The words resonated deeply within Mike, filling him with a sense of purpose and clarity. He fell to his knees, overcome with reverence and gratitude. But just as quickly as the vision began, it started to fade. The light, the warmth, the beauty, all of it slipped away, leaving Mike back in the operating room. When Mike opened his eyes, he was greeted by the concerned faces of doctors and nurses. The surgeon informed him that they had successfully removed his ruptured appendix. But there had been a moment during the surgery when his heart had stopped. They had used a defibrillator to revive him. Mike realized that in those fleeting moments, between life and death, he had experienced something divine. In the days following his surgery, Mike's recovery was slow but steady. He couldn't stop thinking about the vision. It was too vivid, too real to be dismissed as a dream. When he finally shared his experience with his wife, she was moved to tears. The encounter had reignited Mike's faith and given him a new outlook on life. Before this life-changing event, Mike considered himself a Sunday Christian. He attended church out of habit, but his faith lacked depth. Now, everything was different. He was certain of Jesus' presence, the reality of heaven, and the boundless love of God. Mike's near-death experience became a turning point, inspiring him to live with purpose and gratitude. He began to see the world through new eyes. The mundane moments of life, the laughter of children, the warmth of the sun, the beauty of nature, now held profound meaning. Mike started to slow down and appreciate the simple joys of life, cherishing every moment as a gift from God. Today, Mike shares his story with anyone willing to listen. He encourages others to seek a deeper connection with God and to live with faith and hope. Ask God to reveal himself to you, Mike says. Be patient and he will. Sometimes, it takes a moment of crisis to truly see his presence. For Mike, the experience was a reminder of life's fragility and the importance of cherishing every moment. He no longer fears death, knowing that Jesus will be there to welcome him when his time comes. But until that day, he is determined to live fully, love deeply, and inspire others to embrace the beauty of life and faith. Mike's story is a testament to the power of faith, the reality of miracles, and the boundless love of God. It's a reminder that even in our darkest moments, we are never alone. So, what about you? Have you ever experienced a moment that changed your life forever? Share your story in the comments below. And if you're inspired by Mike's journey, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more incredible stories, and share it with someone who might need a little hope today. Remember, miracles happen when we least expect them. Keep your heart open and you might just witness one yourself.